Hi, Greg Timmers, and I'm Chief Executive Officer with Prairie Cardiovascular, a large group of cardiologists in Southern Illinois, Springfield, Illinois. Prairie Cardiovascular has been a group that's been around now for over 30 years. We've got 48 cardiologists, we've got a surgical talent within the group, vascular internist. Back in about December of 2007, when we were threatened with the potential 15% cuts in Medicare reimbursement through the sustainable growth rate, we looked at everything in our operations. Nothing was sacred, from paper clips to outsourced services to our contracts for medical director fees. And one of the things that came to play that is always a major expense for physician groups is the staffing, that being nursing as well as our support staff to support our clinical functions. And in the area of our secretaries has been an issue that, as large as Prairie is, we have over 300 employees and again a large group of physicians. You would think that we could support ups and downs in the number of FTEs that we have dedicated to certain support functions, specifically things like secretarial and transcription. Interestingly enough, it doesn't work that way when you get into the real world, and the reality is, with busy practices that are heavy volumes, just losing 1 or 2 or 3 people to time off for vacation, illness, or transition to a different opportunity that addresses itself to them. We found that we just were not maintaining the consistent support of our physicians. And Cardioscribes was a company that we became introduced to at some of the conferences we were going to, and we started exploring the options, and really was a company that offered us the capability to test out each other's systems, both Cardioscribe to see whether we would fit into their model of workflow, and us to determine whether they had the quality and the turnaround we had. And things evolved into a long-term relationship. You know, it's interesting because when you look at a new company and you understand what they have, probably one of the most challenging things is the implementation time. And I think one of the things that we were impressed with Cardioscribes was that they were upfront with us, pointed out that we just needed to give each other the flexibility with enough time to resolve the issues, be open with each other, recognizing that the implementation of any new major change in your workflow has bumps to it, and learn to just talk with each other. And I think that that's one of the things that we've been impressed with is that yes, we had our bumps, just like anybody would expect to have, but they weren't surprises because we were open with each other, and we also we worked to resolve them. The service with Cardioscribes has really lived up to our expectation. It's been cost effective. We've had much better support of our physicians, which is really what our key goal here was to keep our very busy physicians happy and less involved in visiting the administrator's office periodically because they didn't have the support that they really were hoping for. And I think that one of the things that we found is that turnaround was what suffered when we would have ups and downs in the number of staff. We also had the unfortunate opportunity to absorb within our own group, when we had our own staff that did the transcription function, all of the startup time and the cost and inefficiency of new staff to the system. We don't have that with Cardioscribes. The people that we work with are consistent. They've got great turnaround. When they do have new people to their system, and we notice that there may be some issues, we have got a constant individual that we can interact with to bring those to the attention of Cardioscribes, and they can appropriately respond. It's interesting, when we talked with Cardioscribes, they really did tout some of the things that they did internally to make sure that their staff were good staff to be retained. First off, so that they had value to their clients, such as Prairie. Also, so that they could do things efficiently. But it's interesting too, because I think that the success that we encountered is kind of one of those things that we don't see those on a day-to-day basis, and it's, you know, the way we really evaluate the effectiveness is that the end product to us is got the quality we want, and it's behind the scenes that Cardioscribes just takes care of business. And so certain things that they may have that they talked about, Six Sigma and various management programs, we just have to conclude that they're effective because we have a good product that meets what Cardioscribes sold to us. Healthcare is getting to be a smaller and smaller community of businesses as we see people, hopefully for the right reasons, with efficiency, combining operations, and really looking for a better way to deliver healthcare more efficiently and presumably more cost effectively, with the quality that's necessary to go with that. And I really would recommend that as people look at different paradigms, to really look at outsourcing options, such as at least visiting with Cardioscribes and looking at the product. I think one of the things that we were concerned with, that we would have been uncomfortable with, would have been if we would have lost staff in the process of potentially looking at outsourcing. Really, I think what we did was we have figured out a method working with Cardioscribes to minimize the amount of expectations that we have of individual staff, so that they now, our secretaries, our transcriptionists, are now focused. They still are employed with us. We lost no positions. But what we've done is we've redeployed them with the opportunity to become more expert in a narrower range of services within our group. And for us, that's added the quality and efficiency internally, benefiting from Cardioscribes by they being the quality, efficient, narrow-focused producer of our transcription needs. And that's an interesting thing, I think, that the groups, you know, I'm happy to talk with anyone about what it involves in just looking at a different paradigm for the workflow, and encourage anybody that wants to talk to our people in the trenches that are dealing with this new paradigm on a day-to-day basis to give us a call.